Peter, I put this one in the rundown just because I thought it would piss you off. How do you feel about that?
I'm rising to the challenge. See, now can we do this whole? Can we do like?
Jesus Christ, Peter! I'm not trying to do a centipede with you.
We'll have to work on that. If you're listening to the audio version, that's not going to make any sense at all. At any rate, with Apple and Google and Facebook, I'll just mute you. I got to figure out how to mute Peter selectively from my side. With the crackdowns on tracking, this article is about the companies that are helping them get around the blocks, bypassing tracking blocking. Today's Not So Critical update.
I mean, it was bound to happen, right? This is what happens when you put restrictions in place, is that people find ways to work around them. And,
yeah, every time this comes up, I tell you, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
block marketers from doing this however you want. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's all about like the amount of effort that's put into it. So at a certain point, it becomes commercially viable to start a company to enable other companies to get around these kind of restrictions. As long as it's not illegal, it's just a constant cat and mouse game. Like I've seemed to remember the last time we were talking about this, I said, you know what, they can always just implement server-to-server tracking, where you, instead of a cookie, you just send information to another server. And you were like, oh, that's a great idea. We should do, everybody should do that. I would imagine some of that's going on here.
Well, look at the unfettered tracking happening in browsers, right? And in-app browsers, just as an example of getting around the bush of Apple. The Apple bush.
A big the Apple bush. Yeah, let's go with Apple bush.
Bush.
So bush is a funny word, isn't it?
Does the distinction between first-party tracking and third-party tracking impact us in any way? Do you find that at all compelling?
Yeah, I do. But I see it as a stepping stone. So right now we have rampant third-party tracking that's going on, and we have data brokers which are easily sucking up data about everybody's web usage, and it's enabled by tracking pixels and cookies and all that kind of stuff. The stuff that Google and Apple and some other people are doing is restricting that. So it's going to be harder for third parties to be able to collect all this data and sell it and exchange data. But it's only in the name of privacy. But I think really it's just about solidifying their monopolies as data vampires. So they Google is so prevalent. Google Analytics is on 87% of the world's websites, which seems low to me, to be honest. I would have thought it'd be on more websites than that. But it means that you have an 87% chance of Google knowing where you are, roughly.
Right.
Apple know everything about you, what you're doing. They've got a smartwatch. They've got your viewing habits. Yeah. They've got the browser habits. They've got their email.
GPS
pretty
location.
Much everything.
Location, everything.
Yeah. Health data.
Same as history.
Yeah, and they can use that to. I'm sure that they have some restrictions, but technically they could use all that data to target you in any way they liked, because they have the data and you've let them have it.
We saw an article not long ago that they're actually expanding their intention to do exactly that.
Yes. Netflix, classic example. They've been collecting data about what your viewing habits for ages, and now they're launching ads. So they've already got the data. You're kind of fucked, basically.
Majority of SaaS services and hardware companies are, not majority, big ones are just data companies.
Yeah, exactly. And ad companies in the end. So the thing about, I see it as a good thing that they're restricting third-party access, because it's a stepping stone between full restriction of data collection. But I don't think it can happen without companies like Google and Apple putting their foot down and doing this. That's what I think.
Yeah, so most of the companies that they talk about in this article are companies that do have integrations with Google and Facebook, for example, but are primarily focusing on capturing the UTMs on page by the owner of the site in a way that can be fed into some database that it's still tracking. But instead of being, I don't know, UTM tracking basically is the main technique here. You're putting a URL parameter that follows this UTM naming convention of 5 specific parameters that get passed through. They can be essentially whatever you want them to be, but there are some marketing industry standards of what you would use. Some of the browsers we've seen are starting to strip those URL parameters. Some aren't, but that seems to be the main technique right now for tracking where people are coming to your site from.
Yeah.
And Peter hates it.
I do. I hate it very, very much. I don't like these kind of, I don't like it. I always bring it back to like real world usage. If you go into a local shop and say, what was the example I used with it? You're going for a pint of milk, and you buy a pint of milk every Friday at the same time, and it's fine. Well, don't laugh at me, young man. I'll have words with your father.
I'm just waiting to see how your analogy is going to go wrong here.
Okay.
It'll either have sex or murder.
Something wildly inappropriate at the end.
The guy behind the counter tries to have sex with me, and I'm like, I'm not on with that. No.
I guess I would be against tracking too if that was my experience.
Right. Okay. Let me continue the buying the milk analogy. I like this one. I'm going with this one. Right. So I go every Friday. I go buy a pint of milk, and the guy behind the counter gets to know me. And then one day I walk in, and he's got my pint of milk ready for me, and I'm like, okay. Thank you. That's good. That's very helpful. You have been tracking me as an individual, and you know that I come in every week, and you've used that information in a useful way. If, however, I then walked into a shop in Germany and I walked up to the counter and the guy had a pint of milk for me ready on a Friday, I would be weird. That's weird, and that's creepy, and that's what this kind of tracking is enabling. Yeah. That's the information sharing. It's the kind of selling information and giving it to other people without your knowledge, and building a profile of you. Building the profile isn't so bad if it's just restricted to kind of like the first party. But then you get the first party, the size of like Walmart or something. And then, yeah,
that's a good point. Blurry. To your original example, though, I thought like it would be a little
wait. Sorry. Just one more time, please.
Which part?
That's what was that? It's a
good point.
It's a good. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Peter's going to go to his diary after we're done.
He's going to write it down.
Like agreed with me.
Yeah.
Today was a good day. But to your milk example, like, yeah, it would be creepy if I went to some other store and they had my milk ready. But at the same time, I would think like, that's cool. Why can't I then now just get this everywhere?
So this is actually something that I envision will happen in the future with mixed reality, where that's obviously going to be the next paradigm shift. We're all going to wear glasses that will be basically our smartphones just on our face. And these stores and blank spaces that will actually be billboards, but they'll be digital billboards. So we'll just billboards that we'll see through our glasses will have hyper-focused targeted tracking and advertising. Yeah. And you go buy milk every Friday, it's Friday, and you haven't bought your milk at the time that they usually are, that they think that you do. They'll be like, hey, go get some milk. Milk all over you.
I would go so far as to say a DoorDash delivery guy should just show up behind me with milk.
I got your milk.
And say, did you forget something? And I would say, I did. Thank you.
Terrible. So
this is amazing.
That'll be Amazon Fresh. That'll be Amazon Fresh. It won't be person. It won't be a driver. It'll be a drone flying above you saying,
that sounds so awesome.
Milk. You forgot milk.
I cannot wait.
Buy it.
Is that not?
And then it'll pop up on your glasses by Amazon. It'll say, approved purchase now.
Oh, I'd love it. Can't wait.
I don't like it at all. I hate it. Please, I don't know. Thank you.
We have to have the cool tech. And by having the cool tech, we're going to have to sacrifice everything.
Everything.
Up,
Our
baby.
soul. You know what? If it gets to that point, okay. All right. There is a point at which you just have to give up and go, all right, whatever, fine. You can have everything about
That's it. That's the life.
Yeah.